Uh-huh. There we go. I'm on TikTok also. So I'm not seeing my YouTubers, so you might have to tell me what they're saying. Because I'm not live to see them. So
Gotcha.
okay.
Can you see, if I put them up here, you can see them
Yes,
on
yes, you
screen?
can. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right. And then
Yes.
let's do this. Let's play you in. Okay.
If I get a better studio.
Welcome to Metaphysical Meanderings with Master Psychic Lana Duncan Hartgraves. Lana has been a practicing psychic for 25 years and has gifts of clairaudience, clairvoyance, and clairsentience. She is an empath, a medium, as well as a pet communicator and health advisor. This week we discuss the dark side of psychic egos. Good morning, Lana.
Hey, how are you?
We are good.
Okay. Hi guys, how is everybody? I'm going to be talking today a little bit about something that's happened to me recently. And I want you all to understand when I'm talking about psychic egos, I'm talking about people who are so full of themselves that they think they're so wonderful that they have to cut on other psychics, put them down. I want you guys to be very careful. So what I'm going to do is go over it today. I'm also going to, hi, Annette. Hi, guys on TikTok. I'm also going to be talking about my card of the day. I'm going to be starting to do my card of the day again.
All right.
That too. Now, before I start, I want everybody to know I'm now on Patreon. Now, the Patreon, if you look up Lana's Enchanted Sky, it'll pop up. And I try to keep it cheap, but what I'm doing is this is my mentoring. I have probably 100 people I'm mentoring, and they're calling me all the time for readings. Well, I figure I'm going to go live one day a week on a Wednesday night at 7:30. And the limit is of if every class is like 20 people. If the classes get too big, I will make another section. So if you want to join my Patreon, yep, go ahead and join my Patreon for $15 a month. I think that's a reasonable price. I tried really hard not to make it too expensive because I think I don't want to rip anybody off. I mean, that's not what this is about. So yeah.
Thank you, Paul.
Hi, Paulette. How are you? I also want to thank everybody for hi, Sky Casey. You have to remember, I right now am on YouTube, Facebook, 216thenet.com, and TikTok. So I'm on all of them. So if I'm going back and forth,
and Radio Garden.
Yeah, and that's it too. So yeah, I'm everywhere right now. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit about something that happened to me recently, and because I was next week watching. I'm getting the podcast for the week is going to be, are you meditating properly? I'm finding a lot of people aren't quite doing it right. Okay. So, because I am certified in meditation. So, okay. Thank you, Sky Casey. He's like, you look great today. I'm like, I am home, because I'm getting ready to leave for Florida. So I'm going to be, from Florida for a couple of weeks. Remember I couldn't, can't get to Salem. I was supposed to go to Salem. You guys remember? And it stormed so bad. The storm surge was like 2 to 4 feet. And I'm thinking, I think I'll wait. So, and then you heard about the subways were all flooded and everything. So I'm like, yeah. So we're going to plan that again. But I do have, if you guys know, we're Generation Xers. If you are too, Kent, I'm sandwiched. I am taking care of my husband's mother. I'm trying to take care of her. She's in her 70s and she has health issues, like severe health issues. And she's down in Florida. We're going to get ready to get her back up here. So I'm going down for a couple of weeks to try to get her. She's going to start cleaning things out, that type of stuff. And then I've got my millennials, my kids. So we're sandwiched. That's what we are. I mean, you know what I mean by that, Ken.
Yep.
Right? I mean, we are. That's what the Generation X always has been. So
that's right.
Now, oh, Sky, yes, Salem, Massachusetts. Yes, I was supposed to go on to Salem about 3 weeks ago, and that storm came up along the coast, and I didn't go. But I am planning again to go. We're thinking of going in September, and I just for like a 3 day, because that
Mhm.
was when all the trials were held. I just think that would be cool, and I could tape from there. And so, anyway, so to get down to what my subject matter is today, is I want everybody to understand that the human ego does not go away. Okay.
Mm.
And it's very, very hard in our business. And I'm talking to you all about your businesses because a lot of you guys follow me. It's like because I'm mentoring so many people who are starting their own psychic business, Reiki business, healing business, crystal stores. I have a lot of people. Okay. And I want you guys to understand about your ego because it's normal to have an ego. I mean, we're going to feel jealous. We're going to feel, the things like that. But I'm going to tell you a story in a second that happened to me very recently. And I'm not quite sure what I want to do about it, but I won't say who it is, but somebody that's been on my podcast. And I'm not real pleased because they basically told the person that was following me and then started taking classes with them. And I'm never jealous. Do I feel jealous every once in a while? Of course, I'm a normal human being, but it's something that I'm working on myself. And that's something it's a negative energy. So you want to get rid of it, right? And anyway, this person told them not to go with me, not to listen to me, or not to follow me, and to follow only them. And I was really upset at first because I'm like, that is so uncool. You know what I mean? And I I was really upset at first, and then I tried to look from there. And here, this is your thought process, so that you understand mentally. Your thought process should go if you're not using your egocentric self, human being self. Well, let's look at it from their point. So maybe they just want to make sure this person's like following what they're teaching. But why? This is my other question. Why do you think you're the only right one? There's so many. I'm always learning, and I try so hard not to let my ego get in this. You know, also I think a lot of times people they perceive certain people like it looks like I'm very successful. I
Mhm.
mean, I'm actually not making that much money, you guys. I'm doing a lot of this for free. And but it looks successful, so then they get that little green those little green horns coming out,
Mhm.
because they're of envy. But I it's been really, really hard. I've got so many, you know, it's hard enough working a job where everybody's just not the best environment, right, Kent? And you know what I'm talking about, right? Where you've
Oh
had
yeah,
one
been there.
where there's people that are just so nasty and stuff. But this is a whole different matter. This is on a different level. There are people out there, and I'm going to warn you guys that you have to be because we're all sensitives, we're all empaths. So if you're watching, you're most likely an empath with me. So you're sharing this with me. Hi Moroka. A lot of my normal followers. But I want you to understand that they're going to try to drag you down. They're going to try to make sure that you are not successful. And it is an ego thing. You need to put that human ego to the side when you are doing stuff like this for the greater good of everybody. It's very difficult. And I want to know that, and I know that's where some people are, but it's something that we have to take responsibility for all this. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. I
So,
understand you guys are what you're thinking and what your process is, but I have had just recently somebody tell somebody, I was reading in a store and they told them not to go with me. I'm difficult and all that. And I'm like, well, huh? Yes, do you know why? Because of the ego.
yeah.
Because it looks like I'm becoming successful. So they're going to try to tear me down. And I want you guys to understand that you have to try and you're going to have to buck up, suck it up, I guess, in a way, because if you think that it doesn't exist in this realm, it's just as bad, if not worse. Okay. So that you
Yeah,
understand.
and usually when your ego gets in the way, you're more self-centered than you are trying to help somebody else.
Yes. And we all know what I'm talking about. And I'm going to also get to the point where some of these people are in it for just, and I'm going to tell you a story in a second, because I have to remember um, good Saturday. Hi, Pam. I, I want you guys to understand that you're going to be going through this, and it's just something that you have to work through. But if you ever get to a point where you are controlling everything and everybody, you need to step back and take a look, because that's not what this is
Yeah.
about. This whole thing. Okay. So I have a friend that and remember, I'm talking to thousands of people a week. I have about, I don't know, maybe, and by the way, I have new hours. So if you guys want to make an appointment to talk to me, I'm $10 off. And I'm only $55 for half an hour, which is really cheap because I'm watching other people. They're expensive. I think they're overpriced. I think they're overcharging. So, but I've got more times. I've got like 4 different days now. So just to let you guys know. But that's something I'm going to be discussing this is one of the things I'm going to be discussing in my Patreon, which is I'm basically mentoring you guys, is how to get around all these egos, because I read in a place right now. Yep. So this is what Laura says. And so people are always going to act however they want to. It's never personal, and don't hate those who are envious, but understand and help them help them yourself so you can be confident in yourself. Exactly. Laura, thank you. That's exactly what my point is. You don't feel sorry for them. Don't get angry. Just try to see their point of view and let it go. And it's really hard, especially when they go in after you personally. I had one person that said that, and I read in a store, I want to let you know, that has like 50 readers. Okay. And we rotate in and out. So, that's funny, Lillian. Lillian says, tell that person to grow some balls. Yeah. And lift them a little higher. Anyway, there's 50 people, and there's a lot of negativity when you walk into this place. You can feel it because there's so much energy going on. And when one person does better than somebody else, then they go, instead of being happy for you. Try this. This is what I have been doing for myself. I'm happy for you. I'm so glad you're being successful. Okay, you have to remember there's enough room for all of us. There is so much work to be done in this evil world that for all of us to be doing what we're doing, there's plenty enough work. There's plenty enough, everything. Okay, so please remember that. Okay, but I just get talked about a lot of recent because I've got my podcast and I know it. I've had somebody that's attacked me. They attacked my stability, and she's not okay. Like, there's something wrong with her. And I'm like, what? 31 years of teaching. Probably not as, I'm at my limit. I know that. I'm a pretty stable, I'm a Capricorn. So I'm pretty rock solid, dependable, but the fun, love, and sad,
Yeah.
So
and
anyway,
the sad thing is,
yeah.
The sad thing is like Shayna says, sounds like a drag. It's probably the reason so many gifted people stay in the closet, and they don't want to say, oh my gosh, I have this gift. And good morning, Lana and Kent. Thank you, Shayna.
Yep, that's true. There's a lot of people that don't want to deal with this. And it does get to a point where you are like, and if you think that this doesn't exist in all religions, come on now. Seriously, think about this.
Everywhere, right?
Super churches. Think about this.
Oh,
This and what it is all amounting to is ego. That's what this is about. Okay. It's all about your ego. So I also want to talk a little bit about the fact that some of these people are corrupt. You have to be very, very careful with who you're dealing with. And I have a story I can tell, and I do this in stories. And if I bore you, I'm sorry, but this is how I understand and can talk to you about it. Okay. So I have a friend, and I had started it before. Remember, this is Metaphysical Meanderings. Okay. And what she told me is they told her she had an evil spirit and that she charged her $2,500. And my friend felt like she was cursed because everything kept going wrong. I want you to understand that when things are always going wrong, it was planned. I mean, you're supposed to learn something from it. Okay. That's why you've planned everything in your chart. So it was supposed to. But here's where the free will comes in. You get other people involved who are trying to affect you. Be very careful. Gave her $2,500 and she was supposed to do all these incantations. She found her at dinner. She had taken her husband out to dinner. Well, yeah, she had $2,500, never saw her money again. If something doesn't feel right or something doesn't seem right, you know that answer. Don't do it. But also, if somebody ever comes to you and they're like they're religious advisors and they don't want anybody else they don't want you going to other people, or they just want their method, that's the start of a cult, guys. I want you to be careful. I am very serious when I say this because it's very cult like. They're trying mind control or something. I am never jealous. I want you to go to other people. Go to another psychic. They might say something different. They might say what's the same. I won't do that. I encourage you to, because it broadens your mind. Okay. And that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm in service to you guys. Okay. I'm in service. All right. But I want you to understand to be careful of some of these people, because this person that I'm talking about, and he may even be online, he'll know what I'm talking about, but is impressionable because he's in an awakening. And so he's going to listen to what they're saying. Well, I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'm okay with it. I like that. If they don't want to, that's okay too. You know what I'm saying? But I want you to be aware. And I did warn them. I'm like, be careful of somebody that wants all of your time and energy and money, and especially money, because that is what, I try very hard not to charge a lot. I am very reasonable on purpose because I want you to understand that that's not what this is about. Okay. Now, and by the way, for all you people who have been donating me money for my animals to help me feed my animals, my rescue animals, thank you. I've got I picked up another rescue animal, so I actually picked it up out of my own barnyard. I had a young chick that's only like a day old, and another chicken grabbed it from the back of its head and scalped it, and like it's healing and he's doing really well. But man, I'm having to feed him his little dropper, and yeah. You guys do. So thank you very much. I've gotten quite a few people that have given me money to help me feed all the animals, the goats and the horses, and because it's expensive. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. But back to this. You guys have to realize that it's a slow process is what these people do. They get your confidence. They do have talent. That's the thing. Hi, Blue, Blue Steel Girl. Hi. Yep. She says it's spot on. I'm like, you have to, what some of these psychic people do, and I will admit when I'm wrong. I will admit I want you to go. I don't want the control. I don't feel that that is right. I am very, 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 I don't know. I'm just so careful with what I say. I just am. So, okay. But, and I try, and am I perfect? No. Cause like I'm human. And do I have an ego? Yes. I mean, we all do. And I try really hard to say, hey, I'm being jealous. I need to quit. If you can one time say to somebody, I'm so happy for you, it gets easier and easier, and you end up being happy for them. Mm-hmm. So it's something that you can do. Okay. So just remember that's really something that I've been working on. I want you to be aware of anybody that's asking you to cast a spell. Now, for my attitude about spells, they don't work unless you think they're going to work. There's no such thing as spells. If you think they're going to work, though, because the mind is so strong, they'll work. But if you think that they won't work, and by the way, you guys, if I have somebody I'm close with that has tried to cast spells on me, and I didn't even know it, and I'm kind of laughing because it ain't going to work. Matter of fact, it did the opposite. I won't talk to them ever again. Anyway, so and how do I know? I had another friend of mine who's also psychic and said that they could feel the energy around me. And when I cornered this person, he admitted it. He was trying to cast spells on me. And I'm like, so it won't work if you don't think it's going to work. See, and I'm too strong for it. I'm not going to. So if you think it's not going to, it's not. And they can't get to you, by the way. So just to let you know. So anybody that thinks they're cursed or no. Is there such thing as negative energy coming from past family members? Yes, that is true. That is true. There is karma that's been created that can be broken because I've seen it firsthand. So, sure. But that I'm not talking curses though. That's a little different. So go
And
ahead, Kent. What's up?
when somebody's using that energy, they have that negative or weird ego energy. How does that affect the way that they will read you then?
What do you, I don't understand your question.
Yeah,
So
so
I guess,
I go in, like this individual, said, "Oh, I don't go to Lana. I'll give you a reading." Does that
exactly.
energy, yeah, it give you kind of a different reading or in tune with a different energy, or
Yes, it does. Creates karma. Think about it.
okay,
It creates karma that has to be settled. I have somebody that's talking behind my back as we speak, and it's pretty bad. And I just kind of at a point now that I'm chuckling, I'm like, can't you see how damaging you are to yourself? Like
yeah,
I matter of fact, this is Jesus's teachings. Do unto others, right?
yeah,
Because you guys know I'm Gnostic Christian, and if you don't understand that, please look up the lost books of the Bible. They're the Apocrypha. I follow that. That's kind of what a lot of my teachings. Anyway, you know, you know what I have a saying my one of my best friends says. She's my friend down in Louisiana. She says, I just can't love them enough. She goes, I'm just trying to love you as much as I can. And it's not
hmm,
enough, is it? And you come and tell that somebody, they will break down and it works. And she does that. She's like, you need to realize what you're doing is hurting yourself. And that to me a couple of times. And from different people that she's come in contact with, and it does work. So try that. Say, what's a matter? I just can't love you enough. What's up? And I'm at a point where this person that's doing this is, I'm thinking I'm going to go talk to him. Okay, think about this, you guys. What do I have to lose? But I have a lot to gain. So that's a lot of like what I'm seeing too. And I do readings. Yes, Jimmy, the Apocrypha. Is that a lot of people, what they clam up. Well, and they're telling, and when they call me, you
yeah,
have to remember I have a background in psychology. So I'm also a therapist. That's basically, I had somebody say that to me yesterday. I was in a store yesterday. I have 4 different stores that sometimes I go into and you can see me live and in person. And one of them said, aren't you really more of a therapist than anything? And I'm like, yes, I am. That's why I'm offering the Patreon as mentoring, because people that are also doing their craft and with me doing what we're doing, we can all talk about it. And my teaching style is Montessori. So I don't run the show. When I have a class, I let them, you tell me, because I'm learning from you. I might come up with a subject, but then whatever happens, happens. And so we
yeah.
start talking as a support. That's what a good mentor is supposed to do. So at least I try to be, So letting you guys know, if you go to a psychic, if you go to a healer and somebody says something negative about somebody else, I'd be very suspicious of them. I'd run. Now, there's been times when I have gotten involved because these people have been mean to me. I'll say, well, yeah, well, I don't like her. She's been mean to me. I've learned to shut up. I mean, we all have an ego. I'm not perfect. I've done it. I have
Hmm.
somebody else that says some pretty bad, raunchy stuff about me that's local. And if anybody knows here about where I live, life coaching, yes, I do life coaching. Life coaching, I'm a certified life coach. And I got like lots of, I'm a Sagittarius. So a Sagittarius never has enough education. So if you guys are Sagittarius too, you'll understand. Education and knowledge is very important. Not necessarily education, but knowledge is important. But anyway, letting you guys know, because it just really, I mean, I've gotten involved in it too. I've learned now to keep my mouth shut. Because there's one person that I've seen texts that followers she's texted them about me. I'm like, seriously, I finally started laughing. I'm like, you don't even know me. You don't really, I mean, have you ever really had a conversation with me? You haven't even had a conversation with me. But yet, because she's got a business too, she maybe thinks I'm taking business away from her, and I'm not. Because I will try different psychics. It's okay. Okay.
Hmm.
All right. Moroka, if you're a Sag rising, you must knowledge is important, right?
Yep.
This is
So,
something else, by the way, with Pisces moons. I'm a Pisces moon, and this is something that I found out that's true. So if you're a Pisces moon, tell me you love animals. You have a dire need to love and take care of animals. It has something to do with the Pisces moon, or being a water sign in a moon sign, because that's your emotional side, and you probably are wanting to take care of animals and help animals. So just a thought. Okay. Let's see. So okay. Anyway, I'm gonna make this really short this week, but it upset me. Ken, I'm gonna do about a half an hour of readings. Okay.
Sure.
Is that
That's
okay?
cool.
Okay.
Shayna says, can one be harmed by a psychic? Duped, I understand, but some negative kind of stuff. I mean,
You know what? Shayna, that's a really good question. I don't see why you couldn't be. If they're telling you something, this is another thing that I don't think they have the right to tell you when you're gonna die. I mean, they can see your charts, and I will tell somebody like, well, I will say something positive. I'll say like, well, you're going to live a long time. You're going to live to be like in your 80s or 90s. And oh, really? I'm like, yeah. And if I see it, if I know that there's an illness, I will say, go please see your doctor. I am not a physician. But yes, there are people out there, and remember, if you truly believe that they can't cast anything on you or do anything like that, they can't, because the mind is strong. And I'm serious when I say that. So just remember, if somebody says like, I'm gonna give you the evil eye, I'm like, yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? You can't do it if I don't let you. But like I said, one more time, as I have somebody doing this, I no longer talk to. I will never talk to them again. I'm done. And I caught them. I caught them at it, because I had a couple of people say something like, there's an energy around you and somebody's throwing stuff at you. And I kind of went, oh, okay, well, it ain't working. And he's like, oh, no, it's not working, but it's there. And I actually went to that person and cornered them. And I said, are you trying to like cast spells on me? Like, and it's a love spell. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's a long story, but somebody that I know well, that I've mentioned on this podcast before. And he admitted it. And I'm like, nope, done. No, done. You don't play games like that. And I
right.
don't tolerate this kind of garbage. And a way to cut somebody out of your life, you guys, the best way to cut somebody out of your life, take a piece of paper, write their name on it, and ritually burn it. Okay. And is it magic? No, it's mental. That's a mental thing. Like I've also had one person that said, when you want to get rid of somebody and cut the cord, because remember, there's a cord cut to it. We're all part of a soul family. Take their name and put it in water and put it in your freezer. That's another way. It's all in your head. It's not like magic. It's just your system getting done with them. Okay.
And then there's the old saying, right? That the only taste of success some will get is by taking a bite out of you, right?
It's just human beings have their egos. It's
yeah.
just part of the way it is. And if you guys can get over that, hang around your tribe. You guys are my tribe.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? These other people aren't my tribe, and that's okay. But yeah. Michelle says she doesn't have the correct time for her to find her birth chart. Okay, this is what you do, Michelle. If you were born in the morning or at night, that helps a lot, because usually the charts don't change for a couple of hours. So you can get within a few hours, and that's usually pretty accurate to let you know. Okay. So that was a good question though. For people that one more time, for people that don't know their birth charts, they don't know if they're their sun sign, their moon sign, and their rising, because you have to have your time in your exact place of birth. You can get within a couple hours, because my mother told me I was born at 8, and then I look on there and I was born at 9, and I'm like, oh no. And I look, it's still the same. From 8 to like 10 a.m. it was still the same. It was still the same planet. So that you usually within, if you can get to a point where you're like, oh yeah, I was born in the afternoon. And did you know, off topic, because it's metaphysical meanderings, a little bit off topic, that if you are born in the morning, you are a morning person. And if you are born in the afternoon, you're an afternoon person. And if you are a night person, you were born in the middle of the night. And it's true. And they've proven that in studies.
I'm the opposite. I was born at 8:30 at night, but I'm a morning person. But that probably doesn't surprise you.
But yeah, I know you're a morning person, but you know what? But are you like really good in the evening? Like, are you really on? Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
You might have to ask my wife that. I don't know. Hey, thank you very much.
Yeah, okay. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I
Yeah.
was born at 9 a.m. and it really is. Well, if you're forced to be a morning person, maybe, but
No,
usually
I've
there's
always just got up like at 5, even when I was a kid, a
you
teenager. My
too.
brothers would sleep all day. Yeah.
Me too. I get up. I'm up. I slept in today for the first time. Can't remember. I just needed sleep. I hadn't been sleeping well, but I slept in till 7. I'm a morning. I like to be up. I got a farm. I got to go take care of everybody.
Right.
So I got to get up and take care of the chickens and feed the goats and all that stuff. So yeah. All right.
And and
Oh
and
yeah.
Shayna does say, "Yep, they're following you, Lana."
Oh good. Thanks, Shayna. Okay.
Someone just offered psychic services via the comments here. LOL.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thanks. Okay. Yeah. I don't want a whole lot of this. What I'm offering, I am going to be offering videos at some point on. I have to learn my platform a little better on Patreon. Now I had Patreon launched, but didn't realize it wasn't live. So I remember I kept saying I don't know why I don't have any Patreon followers. Yeah. I finally went on and I finally went on, and my daughter, who's a whiz at computers, and because she's at that age, she's at 34, so
Yeah.
she's a whiz. And I'm pretty good with computers, but I'm like, okay, what am I doing wrong? And she goes, well, and she went in here and she changed some settings that went live. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's it. All right.
That always helps.
Yeah. I've also got one Patreon level where it's just you're helping donate money to feed animals.
That's
And that's
awesome.
what I do. I am going to probably be adopting a couple cats because I got some really bad mice. And now my cat that got attacked by the coyote is he's just limping the rest of his life. He's just not going to be able to catch and grab mice anymore. And he kind of hangs around the house now. So I think I'm going to have to go to the Humane Society and adopt a kitten. So if you see me with another pet, yeah. I always say I'm gonna cut down on animals. I'm gonna cut down, and I end up taking in more because I just feel bad for them, and I go to a couple of my horses have come from auctions, stuff like that, and I've rehabilitated them, rescued them, that type of stuff. So anyway, so all right, I'm gonna read a couple of things here. I said I would do a half an hour of this, so it's about that time, right, Kent?
Well, you also said, well, you're going to give us the card of the day.
Oh, I am, and that's what I'm going to do really quick.
Yeah.
I was thinking that
And
I was
then
grabbing
we'll get into those questions.
and
So
then
post
we'll
your
do
questions in the comments. And as soon as we're done with the card of the day, we'll get to your questions. Ask her
Okay.
anything. Be specific, though.
Yes, you please, when you guys get ready to ask questions, be specific. The card of the day is so that I'm teaching you tarot. I want you to understand I'm teaching you what I know. Now, there's always things that I'm like, I don't know. And I'll be like, I learned from you. So if you can teach me something too. I'm very willing to do that. Now, the card, this is what I know about this card. This is called the star card. Okay. The card of the day is the star card. Now, it is a 17, which is an 8. So, which is an infinity sign. So, see, it's the power of that card. But I want you to tell, like, all these have visuals so that you can make sense of this. That's what they're for. So, if you see this person is this, it's actually supposed to be a goddess. But do you see that there's stars? And we all know what to wish upon a star, thanking your lucky stars, right? Good luck, all that stuff. But I want you to understand the nuance of this because there's always nuances of these cards. Okay. You see how she's pouring into her little pond, into her little, puddle, and then it's also flowing out. So with the star card, so if you ever pull a star card for something, you're going to get your wish, thanking your lucky stars. You have great luck coming, but for for something that you're getting, you're giving up a little something too, so that you understand that's what this card is about. Now, it's a very powerful card because it's an infinity sign, because it's an 8. 17 is 8. 7 plus 1 is 8. So that you understand numerology on it too. But there's a lot more nuances, but I know that you're getting, and I will say something, you're thanking your lucky stars, but you are losing something. You're going to have to maybe give up a little something to get more. Because if you notice, she's losing a little, but she's gaining a lot more into her pond. Okay. So that you understand. All right. Now, it's all these cards have these little nuances. All right. So that, and this is a major arcana also. All right. you know how you say you take 3 steps, you take 3 steps forward and 2 back? That's kind of like this card is. Only you're taking more like 4 steps and 1 step back.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So you're still making progress. So just so that you understand that that's what this card's about. So this is another thing that I'll tell you guys about learning cards. If you want to learn cards, 1, don't do it too much. 2, clean your cards every once in a while. If you were watching me on my YouTube recently, you guys were watching me, and you know what? I could have caught my house on fire, and I almost did. I had some sage burning, and I blew it out and I walked away. It fell off of my stand. I got a little owl stand, and it burned a hole through my I've got like a cloth on my
Mhm.
altar stand, and I'm like, I'm very lucky. It could have been a big deal. So make sure your sage is out, because your sage has a tendency to, because it's bundled, it burns really easy. And I thought I blew it out and I didn't. I'm like, ooh.
Oh,
Anyway, yeah, that kind of scared me. But anyway, so just remember really quick, pull one card. You want to learn how to read these cards, you guys? Pull one card every day. Watch what happens. And then write it down. You'll start seeing that certain things mean certain things. Like this means you're making plans, but it's probably to do with the internet, because you have the world in your hands, and that's the internet. See, it's just weird. And that's for me. Now, somebody else might find something different in that card. Okay. So just a thought for you guys. Just ponder. Okay. All right. I guess we're ready. Yeah,
all right.
ready? All the
Here we
questions?
go.
While waiting. So
JD says, "Hi, good morning, Lana. I have been dating a new girl that I met in the past month. I'm working through past trust issues. Can I trust her? Is she loyal to me and sincere, or should I let her go?"
okay, JD, I don't feel like this person, you're going to have a lot to do with them. And I don't say anything about trust. I just don't feel like something's working out with that one. It's what it feels. Let me know if I'm wrong, because I can be wrong. And I don't want to force your chart. I feel like there's another person coming. And it has nothing to do with trust. It's like something ain't working there. I don't know, just maybe time wise or something. Okay. I have a really good question right here on my TikTok. How do you know if a random spirit is manipulating a loved one's energy spirit? Okay. You're talking about attachments. Now, if you've been watching TikTok, you've been watching my YouTube, I taped stuff on there about attachments. I'm going to watch these people. And what it is it's a spirit that's kind of lost, like the soul's lost. I don't say it's a demon. I say it's a lost soul. And they haven't gone over, they haven't crossed over, or they just have turned away from the light of God. And they follow them around. And you will see a change in their personalities. You will see, like, remember I told you, like, bad luck, it seems like it. It seems like that. It can be an attachment. I'm going to go. Some of you guys are accidentally attracting these people because you don't understand that some of this stuff is, even tarot cards are very powerful. It lets things in. You have to be very careful. I always say a prayer before I open and close anything I do. When I'm done with this podcast, I say a prayer. So do that. Ask for. I'm also seeing a lot more people having angels around them. So people are learning that that's what they're supposed to do, and it does work. But you're right. Yes. I just cleared a person that had an attachment. He came in, he sat down, and I have never seen someone's eyes. He scared everybody in the store. He came in live and he sat down, and I have never seen what I saw in that person's eyes ever in all the years I've taught all of this. And I said to that, because I knew that's what it was. And I said, you're gone now, right? You're out of here. Cause and all of a sudden he literally did this and he looked at me funny. He had an attachment. And matter of fact, if you've been watching because I didn't know what to do, because what I decided to do was with him. He's literally across the road from Wasp Pond State Prison, where Jeffrey Dahmer was at. And literally within, like, walking distance, like within you across the street. And I'm like, I don't care. I told him to move. I told him, like, I hate to tell you, but there is so much negative energy coming off of that place. You've got to like do something. And so he came to me about a week and a half ago and said, you really stirred something up, because I went and cleansed the house, right? The house is
Yeah.
clear. But what he said was, it stood in the doorway and it was tormenting my dog because it's
Mm.
out in the yard. And I'm like, well, I could have done the yard, but I also know some other things going on with him. He's got a roommate doing some real heavy drugs. And when I went in, I felt it. And I said, so who's doing the drugs? And nobody would say anything. Nobody, they just kind of looked at me funny. And then finally somebody said, yeah, somebody's doing acid. And I'm like, I can't get rid of anything if you don't get rid of that negative energy. So I told him, I said, you need a new roommate. You need to move. I'm like, I'm sorry to tell you, not to mention that sometimes some of these people encourage it because they think it's cool. So then they really don't want it gone. And that was the conclusion I came to. So I told him, I said, I am not coming back, because you know what? I feel like you're playing with this and you're enjoying it. So I said, what I'm going to, and I had like other people I've consulted myself, because I have never had one that doesn't leave. They usually will just go. But if you're encouraging them to be around and not leave, I can't do anything. You have to really want it gone. And yes, I can help.
There you go.
Uh-oh, there we go. We lost
All
us
right.
for a minute. But just so that you understand that this is not stuff to play with. I think people think even dowsing rods, you shouldn't. I saw somebody recently, they gave a pair of dowsing rods. Oh, we're ghost hunting, and they gave their kids a pair of dowsing rods. I'm like, that is not anything to play with.
That's scary. All right.
Yes.
Marissa.
Okay.
Marissa Mitchell says, too much on my plate. I fell behind in my graduate classes because I'm caring for my brother-in-law who was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer.
It's okay, though.
Will I be able to catch up on my classes and pass? Uh-oh.
Yeah,
She's
you're
frozen.
cutting it out a lot. Our internet is so good all of a sudden for some reason.
Yeah. Can you see the question up on the screen?
Yeah. Yeah.
Must have hit a sunspot there, everybody.
Oh,
we'll see.
You know what? You're cutting in and out so much, Kent, that I don't know if anybody can hear me.
They cannot hear you. You
guys understand why it's doing this. I think it's something to do with the smoke in the air, because I've been having trouble with my internet lately. We can't. It's so bad. Well, I'm taking a breath. I am taking albuterol right now, because you can see it sitting in the air from the Western fires here in the Midwest, so that you guys know that's what's going on. I think that's why you're coming in and out really bad, Kent. So the connection's really bad.
Yeah,
so
Marissa
we're going to try our best.
Yeah. So Marissa. Yep.
Marissa, yes, you will. You're going to take a hiatus. Now, this is me talking, because I know when this has happened. My granddaughter nearly died about 2 years ago. We all took hiatuses from everything because we thought for sure. I mean, she was sick. She had pneumonia so bad. She was up at the hospital in Milwaukee. You can take a hiatus in your classes. It is legal. If they give you a hassle, threaten them, because it is legal. Say, I have a family member. It is a medical emergency. Family-wise, I have to take a small hiatus. And yes, you're going to pass. And yes, you're going to be fine. So yes, you will pass and you will be fine. But they have to let you take a hiatus. And I know that for sure. So that's me talking. Okay. But I do know as a psychic, you're going to pass. You're going to be fine. It's just going to take you a little longer. Okay.
Awesome.
All right.
Emma says, I have a recorded video assessment on Tuesday morning. Do you see me passing?
Is it one part series or two part? Because I see you doing something again, but I don't know if it's not passing. It feels like, is it broken into pieces? Do you have to take like a next level? That's why Emma, so that I understand, because there's something to do with two parts. And that way you'll understand that, yes. Okay. But so I don't understand that. So get back to me and tell me what that means.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right. Will my husband and I reconcile? This is coming from Blue Steel Girl. Yes. I'm going to be honest with you. Yes, you're going to reconcile. I don't know how long. I know eventually. I don't know down the road. I'm not going to say any more than that. I want you to look at that closely, because in the long run, we're talking 4 years from now, 5 years from now. I'm not sure if you will be together anymore. That is a free will, though. Okay. All right. But yes,
Yeah.
for now, we'll reconcile. Okay.
Emma says it's just one video. Then I have to do an essay on it afterwards.
See what I'm saying? It's okay. Yes, you will then. I saw you doing 2 parts of it, Emma. So see, I was right. Yeah, you're doing 2 parts. You'll be fine.
All right.
Your essay won't be as good as the other part because I don't know. I don't know if maybe you just have you get like stage fright or something, or had a little hard time writing. It'll be okay. You barely pass on the essay part, but you'll pass. Okay.
Beautiful.
Right. Here's a good one. This is a one that I talk about all the time. I've got Michelle. I can't connect with my own mother. Is there a reason? Yes, there's a reason. I don't connect with my mother. My mother's here all the time. And whenever I go to any of my psychic friends, they're like, well, who's the lady standing over here? And I'm like, oh, it's my mom. We become used to the energy. When somebody passes, you first see them all the time and you're like, oh my gosh, I saw her and I've had contact with her. And then all of a sudden you kind of like don't hear them anymore. It's because one, they could be working on something else and maybe even gone into another lifetime, but most likely it's because you become used to the energy. You're so used to walking around with that energy that you don't feel and see them anymore. They're there. They really are. It's just you're used to it so that you understand that that's really probably what's going on. Okay.
Awesome.
I'm surprised I can see my father-in-law. My father-in-law comes. If you guys have ever watched me with some of my videos, matter of fact, remember when I came down with Kent and I had an orb sitting on my shoulder the whole hour? It was the day after Christmas. So it was the 26th. Look at my podcast from the 26th of December. I had literally on my shoulder, a blue-green orb sitting on my shoulder. And then finally it kind of went in front of me and split it away. It's my father-in-law. He knew I was sick. Remember? And that was the day you could hear that I was coming down with something. I had COVID.
Yeah.
And so he was sitting there and I'm surprised I can always hear and see him. He's some of the stuff that I know that's going on. He's telling me. Now, remember, they don't know that much more than you do. I don't care what anybody says. They don't, because they can make mistakes too. So my information, like when I'm doing my predictions, is coming from a woman who wears a blue cloak. It is white and she's angelic looking and it's wrapped around her head. I am told it's Mother Mary. I just know that is who comes to me and gives me the information. Things like the Bucks winning. I don't know why. Why that was a big deal to me, because I'm a Bucks fan. So that was. But I predicted that a couple days ago. I said the Bucks are going to win in 6. So I did that. So,
all right, Jamie Destimer, good morning. First time listener, great friend of mine, incredible realtor. Says you're both amazing. What do you see in my future?
Oh, he has to be more specific. You've got to be more specific, sweetheart. Jamie, like in your career, or you have to be more specific. Because remember, I've got probably 100 and some. I know I've got
thousands of people
watching me right now. So yeah, and all that energy, and that way I can concentrate just on you for that just little quick question. Okay. So
Desiree asks, got any predictions on the Delta variant?
Yes, I do. We are going to go to shutdown of some type in October to November. I want to say it has something to do with kids. So it might be schools are closing early for holidays. It's something to do with that. I know that our vaccination rate is going to go to 80%, almost to 90. People are starting to get frightened. And I know that you can still catch it. I'm on my way to Florida. I've had both shots and COVID, but you can still catch this. And so I'm being very cautious, being very careful. This is my next prediction. There'll be another variant that'll come through again.
Oh, yeah.
I do want to say yes, but I do want to tell you the good news about that. It's going to end up becoming like the flu.
Yeah.
It's the yearly flu. We've got, you got COVID. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, go take some aspirin. We'll see you in a week. It's going to become like that. It's just going to take some time. So just be patient and let it flow, because what's going on is a cleansing right now. Now, and by the way, remember, Ken, I was talking to you about that prediction of 2020 to 2022. This is right. I mean, I know this is right. Now, this has to do with astrology. In the United States, and most of my people are followers in the United States, but not everybody. There is a huge shift. I have been saying it. We're going more progressive is what's going on. We're going to have healthcare for all. It's on its way. Matter of fact, I'm going to a rally for healthcare for all today from 10:30 to 1. They're all in the major cities, and they're also doing a national walkout in protest that we need healthcare. on October 15th. So I keep telling people because I'm a progressive. I've always been a progressive, which means
No,
I'm not super liberal, and I'm not, because I own a gun. I mean, I'm not a super liberal, super liberal person. I'm kind of, yeah,
that's
sort of liberal, kind of more. I don't. I got lots of different viewpoints. It doesn't matter. But
that's right.
anyway, it so that you know, astrologically, the center of what's going on from 2020 to 2022 matches right up in the middle of Texas. And we all know what's going on in Texas right now.
That's right.
So it's very interesting, and it's astrological. So just thought I'd tell you guys that.
All
Okay,
right.
let's go to some more questions.
Our good friend Stephanie Holcomb, good morning. She says, Lana, my friend and I are getting ready to start up a business in life coaching and mentoring people. Will we be successful?
Yes, you will, Stephanie. You have to start out small. I'm not sure. Are you still working another job? No offense. We'll keep working your day job. Stephanie, if you want me to feature you on here, give me a call. You've got my number. You can go on and Shannon Scott.
Absolutely.
And you can, I will feature you. You have to understand. That's why I'm saying I am the mentor's mentor. You know what I'm saying? I'm helping encouraging you guys so it spreads out. That's kind of why I can't understand why anybody be on my case about anything or talk behind my back. But here we go again, egos. So, okay, next one.
Shayna says, did we get the dates for Lana Fest 2021? Have tent, will travel.
Shayna, that's funny because you have no idea how many people have asked me, I'm going to be in Fort Myers. And people are like in Tampa going, are you going to meet us? And I'm like, maybe if I've got family down there, they could come with me. No offense, I don't like to go alone. I mean, you know what I mean? Kind of, yeah. But because people are asking me now to do that. That's funny because you asked that because someone just said that to me. And I'm like, oh, okay. I do travel. Like I said, I have a place in Milwaukee I read. I have a place in Chicago I read. I have a place in Madison. Well, it's pending. I have a place outside of Madison, and then I have Janesville, Wisconsin, and I go to and I have a place in Rockford, Illinois, and I go to these different places on and off, and so people can see me, and then they're already scheduled, and I come in and they actually see me in person. So yeah, I did think about that, Kent. We should have a meet and greet for all of us on Tuesdays.com. Really good, like the coffee house. Remember the coffee house that you guys were featuring? Yeah, that would be awesome. We should be doing that. That would be cool.
Jamie Dustheimer comes back and says, what do you see in my future for my career?
Jamie, there's a lot of money involved. I don't know if it's real estate. There's something big with you. I want to say you're hatching a plan. Does that make sense? Like you're coming up. Okay, you have to, Jamie, you have to be a sun, moon, or rising earth sign because they're telling me from the other side, and there's a woman coming through, smaller boned. She's dressed really nicely. She's got nice jewelry on. I think she may have had money. A pair of glasses, brown hair. I think it was dyed, but I think as she got older, she dyed it. But I think it would have been gray. Shorter haircut, kind of a like a ducktail like type of thing in the back where it rolled up a little. Anyway, she's telling. I think it's a grandma. I'm not sure. Anyway. She's telling me that you know exactly what I'm talking about, that what you're thinking in your head should be done. And that's, and it's a change. So you're going in a year or two, there's a lot of money involved. That's all I know. There's a lot of money involved with it. Okay. All right. Hold on. Dean, I've got Dean over here. Can you connect with my cousin Kat? Did Kat have long kind of caramel colored hair? Get back to me. I think that if that's who that is, you have to remember I have a million people watching, but I think that might be who that is. Okay, Dean. All right. Go ahead, Mel. Okay. What's that?
Yeah, Mel says, recently I was telling this group of readers online they could read with anything and that natal charts are like tarot cards. Then they started another chat titled, You Can't Sit With Us. Was I wrong?
No, they don't know what they're talking about. See, there goes the ego again, Mel.
Yeah.
Don't feel bad. No, that, you know what? Everybody's got their own ideas. That natal charts are like tarot cards. Of course they are. Tarot cards are like natal charts. They're astrology. Tarot cards are astrology. Honestly, they are very unevolved and you're beyond them. Don't bother with them. Seriously, if they're going to treat you people, do you see my point? The ego of that? That's, you know what? Move on, dear. Join me, Mel, because you know what? Anybody that treats anybody, and by the way, and I teach my classes like this. If I find out somebody's bullying, I find out somebody's being negative or mean to somebody, you're out. you're done. I'm not going to put up with it. I won't. And that's always been how I've run my classroom, out of kindness and consideration and sincere love for each other. And so if you can't handle that, that's my only rule on my Patreon, is if you're going to start anything with anybody, you're done. Okay.
Good done. All right, JD, Lana, your thoughts on ayahuasca? Haywawaska.
Oh,
I hear it helps heal past traumas.
yes. I know what that, yeah, I know what that is. You know, yeah, it does, because it's bringing up, I know what it is. I didn't know it was spelled that way. I thought it was spelled a little different. Maybe I'm wrong. I know what you're talking about. And it's kind of like tapping in. You're kind of tapping in also to past lives, and there's just a lot of healing going on with it. Yes, you know what? I'm going to make a podcast on ayahuasca. I know exactly what you're talking about, JD. And yes, I do. I think it works. From what I see, I know people who have done that. Okay. You have to remember, I go to psychics too.
Thanks,
I have
Christian.
a person, yes, because I can't, don't read for yourself. If you try to read, like, I remember I tell you to pull a card. You pull a card, and this is, you're sort of reading for yourself, but yet you're not, because you'll learn the cards, but you never will get all the nuances. You're too emotionally involved. Also, God blocks you. Think about this logically. If you could read for yourself, would you ever experience all the shit you have to go through? Excuse my language. You wouldn't. You wouldn't. You'd avert. You'd go divert it, right? Well, you're not supposed to. So God blocks 90% of it. I can read for it's so funny. Maybe 10%. Like, they told me, like, I've been having a small health issue with this. Like, you can't even, it's like you can see what you're breathing. It's so bad here with all the smoke. And they told me that be careful, your blood pressure. I don't have high blood pressure at all, but your blood pressure is going to go up. And it did. And I didn't, and they kept saying, don't worry, it's going to go back down in a couple months. Well, I made an appointment of getting my tonsils pulled, you guys. So I'm 54 years old, and my tonsils are obstructing my sleep, and no joke. And so they're just going to pull them. That's probably going to be what clears me up. And that, because they told me I would be much better in a couple months. That's all I know. They aren't giving me any more information than that. But so sometimes they do talk to you, by the way. So just take heed to that. Okay.
All right, Princess, will I be able to find a nice home in a safe area once I sell my home? Join your Patreon. Woohoo!
Oh, good. Hi, Princess. You know, it's going to take you a little while to find, not to sell the house so much. The closing date will be around October to November. You'll be able to find a place or sell it. It's finding what you want and a good energy. I feel like you're going to look at least through 5 houses before you find the right place. You know, Princess, are you trying to find a place that would have a nice, like a place where you can meditate, like a meditation room or something? And energy is everything to it, because it seems like that's what you're going to be looking for. Okay. And when it'll be about the 5th house. Okay. All right.
All right. Christian asks, morning, Lana. Any suggestions for career? I'm trying to decide between a few.
I feel like you're talking with women, and I don't know why. I want to say you're uplifting women somehow, Christian. Like, you're making a difference with women's lives. I don't know if it's working with like a shelter. There's something like that, though, where you're talking with a lot of women or female energy. Okay. I feel like you're gifted in that. I feel like you're gifted in counseling of some sort. Okay. And I want you to be looking at that, because that is one of your talents. I think it's your empathic talent. Remember, on one of my podcasts, I did empathic gifts. One of them is counseling, is able to speak adequately to get your point across, to help others. And I feel like that's yours. Okay. Let's see. Okay. TJ, how long does your mom have left? I won't say that, but I will say that it's longer than you think. I will say that much. Do you see how I'm careful? I will not affect your charts. I'm ethical. And that's why I said, if I ever get to a point that anything looks unethical, question me, please, because maybe I'm not realizing it. I'm trying really hard to stay ethical. But it's longer. I will tell you, TJ, it's longer than you think. Okay. So enjoy that.
Right.
Appreciate her while you have her. Okay.
Got just a couple minutes and a couple more questions. So Shayna says, does your diet affect how quote unquote on you are?
Yes, very much so. Okay, this is something. One, I do not do drugs or alcohol if when I and I will not let somebody know. I read in Rockford, Illinois, so that you know there's a city market there, and so people will be drinking and they come up for readings and I won't take them. That negative energy will like invade me, will invade my cards. There's like a negativity when you're on something.
Yeah.
I don't take any caffeine even if I know I'm reading. I've become very careful. I've cleaned my diet up, and it's actually showing in my acupuncture. So he even said, he goes, "What have you been doing?" I said, "Well, it's taken me 9 months now, but I've basically gone no red meat, no sugar, and I'm no fried foods, nothing. Other than that, I'm eating mostly vegetables for whatever I want, but within
Uh-huh.
moderation. It's not like I'm perfect. I
Fantastic.
mean, I can have a hamburger on occasion.
Cleaner you eat, the cleaner you can be, folks.
Yes,
That's
yes.
that's
And it
the
has
whole.
to do, yes, it is true though. It is right. Some people
Yeah.
believe, like some cultures believe, you don't eat animals because you're picking up the death of the animal in your
Yeah.
food. I have a little bit different attitude. Animals know they're here to be eaten. And as an animal communicator, my chickens, I don't ever kill I can't kill they're my
Nothing
pets.
better than a good steak.
So
All
yes,
right.
exactly. It's
Dina,
really
Deanna's
okay.
got a question. Should I send my 8-year-old back to school when it starts, or should I start looking into homeschooling?
Go this is my advice as a teacher of 31 years who's going to be retiring in 37 days, Kent. No
Hey,
joke.
hey.
And I'm gonna break my contract. They all know it, and I don't care. They
Sure.
know what's going on anyway, and that's okay because I'm brutally honest. It's a sad thing. I can't
Yeah.
lie. I'm one of these. I just can't. You know why? Because when you lie, then you have to remember your all your lies, and then they catch you. Just tell the truth. You don't
Truth,
have to.
just
It's
tell it.
it's stress free. Just tell the truth.
Yeah.
Anyway, if I were you, I would start them off into school because my granddaughter, who's here, who's 8, I'm taking her out for the day when we get off of here.
Yeah.
She is grandma time. Should we start them in school and wait and see? I still say something is like the numbers are going to go up. I don't know, something's up, and I can't quite tell you what it is, but there's something up in October. I don't know. Maybe they're just going to go back to mask mandates all across the country. Something's up though, late October to November.
There you
Okay.
go.
So just be watching and keep your eyes. And, um, I know that my kids had my grandkids all had COVID, including the baby, and they were sick a day. I mean, they got over that, the regular COVID,
Yeah.
but that variant is different. So just be
Hmm.
cautious and keep watching. Okay.
All right, 2 more. We're over our time, so we'll just do these 2 more, and that way we can shut down the show. Ted Legal says, "Good morning. Will my family finally find the home we need soon, so we can get the family together?"
It's I would say it's going to take some time. There's some type of weird snafu about it, and it's almost like you've planned it in your chart to make sure you get the right place. I would say by October, I know it's August, September. It's only a few months away. It's like about 2 to 3 months away, but it'll be okay. Okay.
There
I
you
got
go.
one more question here. Why can no one ever read me? And I mean no one. I'm reading you right now, but I am going to tell you you're blocking and you're very powerful. You must be, I feel like you must have Scorpio in your chart somewhere. Scorpios are the most powerful zodiac chart, and they don't even realize it. So I want to say that you must be Mency, okay? Because I feel that there's Scorpio in there, and I am reading you. You
There
actually
you
have somebody coming through that wears a cap. It's a woman, and I think she puts her hair back up in it. So that's how I read. I read your family members, and then I connect to you. So
go.
I'm not reading you; I'm reading your family members. So I am able to read you. So, but I think you're very powerful. I think that's what's going on. Okay.
Awesome. Last question of the day, and then we'll wrap this show up. My niece Donna had exploratory surgery, and they didn't find anything. Can you see anything?
I want to say that they are going to have to do. They're going to do something again within about 4 months in the stomach region. That I feel like there's another surgery that they're missing something. Yes, I want you to tell her to please have them look again or do some more tests. Okay, I don't know what, but there's something. Yes. Okay.
There you go.
All right. Bye, everybody.
All right, everybody. Thanks so much for jumping in and getting caught in the net this morning. This has been Metaphysical Meanderings. Remember, reach out to Lana at www.enchantedSky.com. Check out her Patreon. She's here to help you. So please, absolutely. And she said, yes, stomach, absolutely. Blessings to everybody. Stay safe and remember, do unto others as you would want them to hang out with you, right? So
yeah, that's right. Blessings to all you guys, and yep, keep following me, you guys. Hi, Julie. I've got family members on here even. So blessings to all you guys. Okay. All right.